Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. As you see, we have someone new on the platform. This is Melissa Olson. She is joining us. And today, claim what's yours. You are in for such a treat with the talk. Reverend Deborah is giving the meditation. It's an awesome service. Let's sing about how we are all welcome here. Are you ready? Well, Reverend James is, so let's sing. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. All souls are welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Your soul, oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Come on, guys. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I said it's welcome. It is welcome here.
All right, if you didn't know before, you know now. Our souls are welcome here. Good morning, Reverend Deborah. Good to see you this morning.
And good morning, Reverend James, and good morning to you. We greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because we know that there is no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, either watching us online or here in person, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. We know that every one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're so very excited to get together each week, and that excitement extends to silencing your electronic devices. And please refrain from flash photography during the service as well.
Well, let's take this moment, now that we've created that clearing, to connect with this presence that we know by so many different names. We may call it the God presence, the divinity, the divine within, closer than breathing, nearer than our neck vein, whatever we call it. Our task is to call it forth as an activity of our awareness and to take in all of its qualities. First and foremost, we know it is love itself, for this is what binds together every single thing in our grand and majestic universe. And then we see all of his offspring that we know that we contain as well the peace that passes all human understanding, the joy that is beyond our own measurement, the love that is between us and for us, the health, the vitality, the vigor, and all that is good and perfect, we are. And we make the activity of our awareness through our thoughts, our words, our actions. We remind each other of this truth. And as we do that, not only are we lifted up, but all those who cross our path and in our energy field are lifted up as well, because we are one in the Spirit. So we give thanks for this opportunity to let God be God through us, to be the agents, to be the vessels, to be the vehicles of this presence. And as we make it the fullness of our being, we can say without a doubt, when you see us, you see the presence that sent us, for this presence and I and all of us are one. There's one thing going on, and that is the presence of God. And this and so much more, we're grateful and thankful as we amplify the all good each and every day. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center as reflected in our mission statement, and invite us to join in together as we say it aloud together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry out that mission and that purpose by embodying and fulfilling these principles to the best of our ability. Again, let's say them aloud to anchor them in our life. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action.
And of course, we have lots of action during the week. This week, the Wow Wednesday is not going to have a program. We will have the community meal, and we're just kind of taking a break, but I will come and join in the community meal. And if people want to sit down and have a kind of a spiritual discussion over the meal, that's great. So the community meal starts at 6. We'll see you then.
All right, it's going to be wonderful.
And then on September 30th, Reverend Donna Appadoni is going to be doing our annual Blessing of the Animals via Zoom. And Donna, of course, explains it best.
Hi, I'm Reverend Donna Appadoni. Do you know what time it is? It's time for the annual Blessing of the Animals, and I'll perform a celebration that combines ancient traditions. It won't be at Spiritual Life Center, it'll be online, because so many animals at one point or another in their lives don't want to travel. You know what else animals don't want to do? They don't want to sit still for very long. So it'll be a quick service. Don't be late. It'll start at 1 p.m. It'll be interfaith, because animals tend not to follow a particular religion. It'll be all those things. Interfaith, on time, short, and on Zoom. We'll do a group prayer, and then I'll do individual blessings of the animals who come to visit on Zoom that day. 1 p.m. on Zoom, the Blessing of the Animals. See you there.
Thank you, Reverend Donna.
And of course, the Zoom link will be on our website, and we're going to be talking more about this next week. So.
And the day before, we have our 25th anniversary Light the World Gala that's going to be taking place. And as I was sharing with the earlier service, you do not want to miss this, because it's going to be an experience of a lifetime. It may be an experience of several lifetimes, and you don't want to miss this one, because you may have to wait 2 or 3 lifetimes to have another one like this again. So make sure you get your tickets, show up, and we're going to have a mighty good time with friends and fellowship and food and foolishness, whatever else comes up for us. So we're going to have a wonderful experience. So check it out, get your tickets. They're available online, or you also go to the hub, and they'll also give you an opportunity to sign up and get your tickets.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great, great evening. And now we also have the Faith in Action participant signups. Now, for those of you who are fairly new, Faith in Action is our yearly book study, and we are doing the book In the Flow of Life by Eric Butterworth this year, and we get together in groups to discuss the different chapters, and Reverend James does talks on Sunday that follow the program. It's a wonderful time where you can make friends, meet new people, and expand your consciousness, and so you can sign up between now and next Sunday is the last day to sign up, and so since we have the last-minute people here, rush out and do it today. You can sign up in the courtyard, you can see Caroline at the table, or of course you can always sign up online.
Well, we know in our life experiences, everything there is a season. And Pat Harvey is going through a different season of her life, and that includes moving to San Jose to be with her grandchildren and her daughter. And so she will no longer be here, but she's been here for quite some time. She's been on our board. She's worked as the office manager. She's done a number of other things, working with facilities, events, volunteer coordinator. She's just like a Renaissance woman. But also brings a spectacular consciousness. And we know that as you move on, as I said in the earlier service, you can check out, but you can never leave. So we'll be connected with you forever in some way, shape, or form. And the board and the staff has gotten you a wonderful gift and a card and some funds for you to have some good time. And it's the Grandma's Getaway Bag. And here is the instructions for the Getaway Bag. You visit, you love, you spoil, repeat. So that's how that works. But I think you already know that. And Pat, we're going to miss you. But God bless you so much. And we're going to give you our special Spiritual Life Center greeting. We invite you to join in as we affirm this greeting together. And as it comes up on the screen, we can say it together. Pat, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold God's love as you. Thank you so much, Pat.
Okay, that time it got me. Remember, there are many activities here at Spiritual Life Center that foster the transformation in our lives. So check out our weekly small groups and other offerings. And you can find out all the happenings here at SLC. You can go to the courtyard, look at the bulletin board, chat with the lovely ladies at the hub. And of course, you can always go to our website and find out what's going on.
Well, we come to Spiritual Life Center, among other things, to simply make connections with other folks. And sometimes it happens in our events or classes or workshops or gala events that take place. But we never have to wait until then to connect with someone. We connect with someone right here and right now. So I invite you to turn to a friend or a neighbor in a manner that feels comfortable for you, to greet them and say, "You are marvelous and glad you are here."
Invite you to stay standing and join us in singing our group song written by our very own Paula Mandela. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, every day is an opportunity to walk the path soul, expand the light, and love, love, love it all. I remember in the stillness of the morning, through the chaos of the day, in my resting place reflecting, Spirit at work, Spirit at play. I remember every day is an opportunity to walk the path through the heart, awake my soul, expand the light, and love, love, love it all, things great and small. I remember every day is an opportunity to walk the path through the heart, awake my soul, expand the light, and love, love, love it all. I remember every day, all day there's opportunity. Every day, all day there's opportunity. Every day, all day I look beyond what I see. Every day, all day I look beyond what I see. Every day, all day I can make a choice. Every day, all day I can make a choice. Every day, all day search and find my voice. Every day, all day search and find my voice. Every day, all day I listen to my heart. Every day, all day I listen to my heart. Every day, all day step out and do my part. Every day, all day step out and do my part. Every day, all day I make a stand for peace. Every day, all day I make a stand for peace. Every day, all day I feel my joy increase. Every day, all day I feel my joy increase. Every day, all day I check my attitude. Every day, all do it. I check my attitude. Every day, all day expressing gratitude. Every day, all day expressing gratitude. Every day, all day I give up the fight. Every day, all day I give up the fight. Every day, all day I am shaping the light. Every day, all day I am shaping the light. Every day, all day reach for the highest heights. Every day, all day reach for the highest heights. Every day, all day there's opportunity. Every day, all day there's opportunity. Every day, all day I remember. 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 Please be seated.
And now, as we move into the quiet and contemplative part of our service, let's embody the words of our vision statement together. Spiritual Lives Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet.
And now, in preparation for meditation, we invite you to sing this beautiful chant, all good, holy, holy. Please join us in singing.
All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All love, all love, all love.
As we settle into this time of quiet, breathe naturally and simply be aware of how you relax with each breath. Melt into your seat, relax your eyelids, and gently drift into the center of yourself. Float into the silence of your inner atmosphere, into your imagination. A soft, sparkling white mist enfolds you. And as you gaze into the mist, the sparkles slowly resolve into a familiar shape of a temple. Engraved above the open door was one word: Imaginarium. Entering the temple, you see 3 altars that form a triangular shape under the alabaster dome. One altar is made of ruby, one of emerald, and one of amethyst. Over the ruby altar hangs a sign that says, "Altar of your desires." Stepping forward, you lean in and lay your palms on the cool ruby surface. As you make contact, the altar begins to glow, and you see in your mind's eye the earthly things that you desire and need. These are concrete things, and you easily identify them. You don't have to think about them much at all. They are part of your reality. And you take a breath and give thanks for the needs and desires that are fulfilled in your life. Now turn and move to the emerald altar. Its sign says, "Altar of your dreams." As you lean in and place your palms on this altar, the emerald green pulsates. And your mind is filled with dreams that you foster, those that are bigger than your desires, the ones that go past your material needs, the dreams of your life. As they float freely in your mind, recognize the ones that have become manifest, and acknowledge the ones that are in process. Allow yourself to merge and blend with your dreams. Express your gratitude for these dreams because you know that they give you something to reach for. They give you hope. And now you turn toward the amethyst altar, and the sign over it says, "Crazy ideas." As you lay your palms on the altar, nothing happens. And then a voice whispers, "Imagine." Allow your mind to wander, and the amethyst light emanates from the altar, enters your being, filling and energizing you. And the inner voice says, "Imagine. Imagine who you are. Imagine who you came here to be. Imagine beyond your dreams and desires. Imagine the whole of the universe into your mind, into your heart, into your soul. Imagine." And now you see and feel your heart, mind, and soul. And they are immersed in this light and become one with the all. In this moment, there is no you. There is only being. In this oneness, you claim your good. In the silence. Your mind, your heart, and soul are open to the crazy ideas of the universe, and you are free to be. And as you prepare now to rise from your inner atmosphere, step back from the altar and bow to each one, the red, the green, the amethyst, in gratitude for their gifts. And as you return to your physical body, please receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, imagination expands you. Imagination is how you co-create with the one source. Imagination is your holy link. Use it often. Use it to open yourself and all the use it to open yourself, and all the crazy ideas you never thought of will flood into your being, and your good will be yours. Remember this, always.
You can spend your whole life building something from nothing. One storm can come and blow it all away. Build it anyway. You can chase a dream that seems so out of reach, and you know it might not ever come your way. Dream it anyway. God, He is great, but sometimes life ain't good. And when I pray, it doesn't always turn out like I think it should. But I do it anyway. Yeah, I do it anyway. This world's gone crazy, and it's hard to believe that tomorrow will be better than today. Believe it anyway. You can love someone with all your heart for all the right reasons, and in a moment they can choose to walk away. Love them anyway. God, He is great, but sometimes life ain't good. And when I pray, it doesn't always turn out like I think it should. But I do it anyway. Yeah, I do it You can pour your soul out singing a song you believe in, that tomorrow they'll forget you ever sang. Sing it anyway. Yeah, sing it anyway. Yeah, yeah. And I
And Roach, anyway, I knew when she came out those shoes, it was going to be like a whole different level here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, the energy field has been set, and I'm just stepping into it. Many years ago, I was going through a challenge. And the very interesting thing about that is that today I don't even remember what it was, which is a good reminder that when we're going through something, we know it will pass eventually. But when we're going through it, it seems like it's going to last forever. And I was going through one of those experiences, and I recall I was having a tough day. And I was reading a story about one of my personal role models, Nelson Mandela. And reading that really helped me to get through that very tough patch for me. In that story, Mandela spoke of the time that he was relegated to hard labor. And he was confined to the prison in South Africa because he was fighting against apartheid at that time. And when he was in prison, at some point, he began to think that his vision to end this injustice somehow would not happen. And he thought that the good that he was seeking for his country was never going to be realized. But then one day he had a revelation. It's like a stream of light landing on a parched field. The thought popped into his mind that the good that he was working for so hard could, in fact, still take place. And so he nurtured that idea, he embodied that idea, and soon that idea converted into a thought, and that thought began to bring other thoughts into his mind. And as he went through this experience, he realized that he could go through what he was going through, and maybe this was the way it was supposed to look like. And he began to hold to the idea of being in prison was the ways for him to achieve the goals that he was working toward. And once he got into that frame of mind, the idea of writing letters occurred to him. And it was through the letter writing that the American media and the Western media picked up the story and set in motion a series of events that eventually led to a worldwide pressure on South Africa to end apartheid. And then eventually Mandela was released from prison and eventually became the president of the very country that had imprisoned him. And he led to the greatest forgiveness movement, I believe, in contemporary history. He did not succumb to the idea or to the facts of his situation. I believe what he did, he opened up his mind to the infinite supply of ideas that matched his desired good and combined that with a feeling that on some level, on a spiritual level, it was already done. That the answers and solutions then began to show up for him. And so that story reminds me that everything that Mandela needed to carry out his purpose, to be the solution to the challenges that he faced, they already existed. It existed in the form of an idea or ideas, and the supply of ideas are limitless. We've been working with this theme this month of living from the allness of God. Recognizing that we live and move and have our infinite presence in this presence we call God. This unseen force is available to everyone all the time, and our job is to learn how we can become accessible to it, become access to it. So when we're talking about supply, we're talking about an endless supply. We're not talking about anything that's material. We may have thought up to this point that our good that we're seeking is something that's material, a thing that we seek to have physically. But everything that we see in the visible world is just a condensation of the supply of ideas for what I call the ideasphere. Yet the more often than not, we believe our good or the things that we want, they come from some kind of material basis. But supply in the teachings that we have is infinite. It is invisible, but it's oh so real. You know where I live, there's a pomegranate tree there. And sometimes we look at the pomegranates and seem like the pomegranates, that's the supply. But really, the pomegranates represent the effect of supply. Because if we believe that pomegranates equals our supply, we'll think that every time we eat one, and sometimes they're hard to eat. You got to cut them up. You got to get them little seeds out. You got to bring them in. And it takes a lot of pomegranates to get filled. But that's another story. But we think that every time we eat one or eat the pomegranates, that the supply is diminished. But those who know, those who understand that there's a wonderful life force moving through the pomegranate tree, and every pomegranate season, which is coming in now, because I looked out there and I saw some of them starting to grow. And every pomegranate season, it reproduces more pomegranates after its own image, after its own likeness. So the more you eat, the more it grows. The more you pick, the more it grows. Yes, the source is invisible, it's infinite. The pomegranates are just the visible manifestation of the life essence that is moving through it. But it's not the supply. So we're coming to the awareness that the good that we're seeking, the supply we're seeking, is the invisible flow, and we don't see it, but it is there. So today we're talking about supply. Claim what's yours. And I thought about this scriptural reference from Genesis in the Hebrew Bible, the 13th chapter, the 14th and 15th verse. And it says, lift up your eyes and look from the place from where you are standing, northward, southward, eastward, westward, for all that you can see, you can have. All that you can see, you can have, and we can only have as much as we think we can handle. You know, I remember, I think, sharing about a guy who had come to a spiritual community I was at many years ago, and he had been going to different kinds of communities and had a different kind of teaching, which is cool. And he had been there for the very first time. And at the end of the service, he came up to me and said, you know, I cannot come here again because I don't feel bad like I do when I go to those other places. And it's like the story of the man who went anywhere that he went. He was finding people who were joyous and they were positive, and he was a complainer. You know, he was a complainer without ceasing. And, you know, he would go to these places, there'd be so much joy and happiness that he couldn't stay there too long, so he had to go find a place where he could complain and commiserate and move around. He'd move around a lot till he found a very comfortable place to complain, and he'd leave all those other places because the vibration was way too high for him. So we need to ask, can I really handle more energy moving through me? Can I really handle a higher octave, a greater frequency of the livingness of God, moving through without sputtering, without cracking, without breaking down? Because sometimes people get into that energy, it's just too much for them. Now the football season has started, so I've been following a lot of the games lately, and I've been following particularly Deion Sanders, who's from the Florida area I used to live in, and you know we used to call him Neon Deion. And he had a very interesting statement that he would say, because he was very confident in himself. And he said, do not let my confidence threaten your insecurity. Do not let that threaten your insecurity. He would just sometimes be too much for people. Because you know and I know that if a coil cannot carry the energy that is being moved through it, it will short circuit, it will falter, it will break. So often we're praying for more, and we're not quite ready to be the carrier of more of the current of this infinite presence of God. Oftentimes what we'll do, we will begin to get more for ourselves or be more and have more revealed, and there may be a breakdown. We may be trying to get away from it. We pray for it to go away, and the good begins to come into our life through greater opportunities to express ourselves, and we find ourselves maybe running away from it. You may, I don't know if you ever run into these individuals, they're kind of grumpy at times, and not that I'm judging much. You walk up to that individual and say, good morning, and they'll say, what's good about it? Or, you know, they may deflect a compliment that comes to them. And, you might say, oh, you have this magnificent ensemble for, and they say, oh, this old thing, it's no big deal. No, they're deflecting the good to come to them. You know, I was talking about some folks I knew from Morocco, and we hold them in prayer because I know they had an earthquake recently, and a lot of people are going through some challenges. But I realized that they said whenever a compliment comes to them, when someone may say to them, "Oh, you have a magnificent smile," and they'll say something like, "Oh, it's true, thank you." You have a wonderful dress that you're wearing here today. And they'll say, "Oh, it's true, thank you." "Oh, you have a wonderful energy that you bring." And every time you show up, and they say, "It's true, thank you." Understand, when we say supply, claim what's yours, we got to ask ourselves, are we willing to handle it? Are we willing to take it in? Can we really handle it? Or to put it another way, we ask ourselves this question: am I ready to handle and live a life of sacred, what I call blissdiscipline? Blissdiscipline. Now, we know about discipline, but that's another thing. But we're talking about blissdiscipline. And blissdiscipline simply means the discipline of our spirit, the discipline of our heart that allows us to carry more bliss in our life. I have a friend that's, writing a book. We're trying to figure out some ideas to come up with it. And we know that saying, good, better, best. And she came up with this idea, the good, better, bliss. I mean, that's the way to live. You're supposed to live with bliss. It means we're going to break free from any commonplace thoughts and the mundane thinking and the mediocre way of viewing the world. It means we're going to develop a discipline that allows us to stay in the faith awareness, the faith atmosphere, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the situation. Or as Ann was saying, we just do it anyway. We do it anyway. I believe that's the mindset that Mandela had gotten into. This blissdiscipline became the form of his life, and it must become the form of our life. So how do we do that? What do I mean by that? There are many kinds of training. Whether it's being a great musician, as we had the great musicians here this morning, or being a wonderful athlete or a wonderful writer. Usually, if they get to that point, there's a particular form that they engage in. That when circumstances are maybe not to their liking, where they're not feeling up to speed, they're not up to their standard, they can always revert back to form. So when an athlete is absolutely tired, it knows what form to go to. I was checking out some of the track and field championships. As you know, I like watching some of the sports. And there's a sprinter who runs the 100 meters in the women's division, Sha'Carri Richardson. And she talks about when she gets out of form or she stumbles, and she knows how to get back into form, how to move her arms, how to lift her legs in a certain way. So when even the flesh is not willing, she knows how to get form and get back in tune. What we want to do, to accept the good and supply that Spirit is seeking to give us, is to revert back to spiritual form. So when we get off path, when we get off kilter, when we begin to stumble, as we do in the human experience, there are blissdiscipline practices we can do to get us back into our spiritual form. I'm going to share a few with you this morning. And one of them is to accept our good. We talked a little bit about that. And when we think about the consciousness of acceptance, we're talking about making it a habit of opening ourselves up to accept the infinite supply of good that God has already given us. And now we must realize we are worthy of it. When I was in high school, I had a teacher, very good teacher, named Mr. Greenfield. He's passed on at this point, but he's still in my awareness after all these years. And I remember he invited some of our students to his apartment and to help us fill out our college applications. And he lived in a very modest apartment building, but he had one room that had a most magnificent decor and furnishings and paintings from different parts of the world. And one of my classmates, who had no filter at all, I don't know if you know people like this, whatever comes up, comes out, And he asked him, how were you able to get all this good stuff? And you're only a teacher. You don't make that much money. And he was very patient with him. He said, it took some time. But this is a special place that I spend time in my apartment. And I allow only the most beautiful things to come in. And I reflect upon that because I feel that this is about who he was and also how he treated himself. There's an old statement that says you train others and you train the universe by how you treat yourself. And to the degree you treat yourself magnificently, you've enrolled the entire universe in your training program on how you should be treated. So we must begin to accept on a deep level, on a profound level, that not only do you deserve the best, but you are the best that God has to offer when it comes to you. You begin to talk to yourself nicely. You begin to encourage yourself. You begin to love yourself. You begin to want to be your own best cheerleader. When no one else is around, you want to be your own best cheerleader, because it's impossible, I believe, to accept the infinite supply of goodness from this grand universe. We can't accept what is God's pleasure to give us if we're not training the universe to respond to our deep and to our pure intention of how we are treating ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. And I'm coming to realize we don't necessarily get what we ask for. We get in life who we are and what do we think and feel about us. You know, there's a story of a young woman who I checked out, it was on YouTube, and she was talking about how she became good at it and very successful at it. It took her many years to get to that point. And one of the things she said that what helped her get to be successful, that she had to get to the point where she felt she had already arrived. In other words, in that moment, despite what it looked like at that moment, how does she want to look? How does she want to feel? What kind of equipment? What kind of dress? What kind of topics was she going to have? Who were going to be her listeners? And she acted as if it was already happened, even though it hadn't manifested in that moment. But she saw and she affirmed that this was the truth about her. And of course, it unfolded in a wonderful way. All the things that she needed began to show up. So we want to say the truth about ourselves by declaring, I am the best that God has to offer me. Not sometime in the future, but right now. Because God created me an unrepeatable, magnificent spiritual phenomenon that has the fullness of God right where I am. Therefore, it is my duty, it is my responsibility, it is my charge, it is my mandate to fully accept this power, this presence, this love, this beauty, and let it shine as me. And when we do that, we feel that, that vibration puts ourselves in a position to accept this infinite supply of good that the Spirit of the living God has for us. So that's the first discipline, is a consciousness of acceptance, a consciousness of already being worthy. And then there's the second discipline, to help us claim this infinite supply that is ours by our divine birthright. And that's to modify our language. Modify our language to come in harmony with what is real and what is possible for us. I remember I was hanging around with someone who was pretty experienced and on a spiritual path, and I don't know where we went, and I was kind of new on this thing, and we were looking at some things in the store, maybe window shopping. And I said, I could never afford that. It's too much. But what he said to me, he said, when you speak like that, particularly when you make it a habit, it becomes a mindset, and begin to block out all the possible ideas on how you could afford it or how it could actually happen. You're blocking your own good by your languaging. You're blocking the supply of possibilities. Instead, he told me what you need to do is say, let me see how the universe is going to handle this. It's a totally different way. It opens things up in a wonderful way. And once you claim that supply, which we know is invisible, which we know is infinite, we're in tune with this field of possibilities. And so we say, let me see how the universe is going to handle this. Let me see the possibilities. If it were going to happen, how would it happen? And the universe, this presence of God manifesting as itself, we know is always handling everything with grace, with ease, with dignity. And there's nothing but elegance here. There's nothing but radiant good here. I always say, if the universe is spitting out galaxies and cosmos and multidimensional universes, it can easily handle what our little problem is. It is magnificent. It's invisible supply without end. So we want to say, let me see how this universe is going to handle this. That's the second discipline, just to modify our language, modify our speaking, because words have power. Words have power. Life and death is found in the power of the tongue. And then there's the third discipline, to keep us in spiritual form. I had a lot of them I was going to share today, but if I went through all of them, we'd be out next week. So I had to limit them to a few. We must begin with a consciousness of appreciation, a consciousness of thanksgiving for everything we already have. And we're not naming it little. Sometimes people will say, my little old this, my little old that, my little old paycheck, my little old job. No, we begin to diminish it. We need to move and discipline ourselves so that we're in full appreciation of what we already have. Giving great thanksgiving for what we have, realizing that when we give thanks for something, we attract more of it. As it goes, what we appreciate appreciates. It increases. It becomes more and more and more in our life. I was thinking back to the time my son was in 9th grade. I can't believe that he's way past that now. And he was starting his 9th grade year and his high school, new year. And so we were having some meetings with his geometry teacher. And during that meeting, she pointed out that she realizes that there's some of the students that believe they're just not good at math. And people just say, I'm just not good at math. And she went on to explain to the parents how she was able to get her students to feel okay about their ability in math, regardless of what their skill and knowledge level might be. And she noted that everyone is good at some things, and maybe not others. Some are good at math as students. Some are just great at music. Others are great in English and writing. Others are good at art and so on. And she used the analogy that each subject is like a rubber band in our mind. And some of the rubber bands are large for areas that the students are good at. And then there are smaller rubber bands where they believe they're not good at. But she went on to explain that when a student is praised and acknowledged in a subject area, that rubber band for that area begins to expand. And when a student is put down or criticized for not doing well in a particular subject area, that band contracts. And the teacher let the parents know that her job is not to only praise students for what they do well, but to find the positive things in the subject area that they believe they're not gifted in. Some small thing. In this case, it may be math. And when she does this, she says, it changes the student's attitude about math from a negative perception to a positive one. What they viewed as weakness is now seen from a whole different perspective. And inevitably, those students who think they were not good at math, they improve in their skills. And I believe it's a wonderful demonstration of the power of appreciation. That whatever we appreciate opens up the supply line for more good to show up. There's some individuals, no one here, but some individuals, they'll lump into a situation, and they'll look for, there's 99 things going right, but there's maybe one thing that might be off, and they put all their attention on that. It's like you have a big sheet of paper and all the white sheet is clear, good stuff, and there's one little dot in the middle that represents something wrong, and they'll focus on that dot. And that's what more increases in their awareness, in their consciousness, in their language, in their way of seeing the world. But if we want to get more, we need to look at what we have going good and give more attention to that. Understand the good we are claiming is that invisible flow. It's invisible. There is so much encouragement because of that around prayer, about meditation, because what we want to do is activate the faculty within our soul that allows us to see other dimensions of what's real. Right there waiting to become whatever we need it to be for us to live beyond our wildest imaginations. Because when we clearly see this, we modify our language so we claim the good. We don't say it's impossible. Sometimes I just say, I always say that, I don't know if you ever had this dreadful disease. It's a dreadful disease I sometimes had been afflicted with in my life. It's called my funds are low. My funds are low. We drop that disease. Instead to say, well, wait a minute, this is God's idea. Let God figure it out through me, and we get to claim it. We get to know that it's already done. Yes, we have to do our work, but we got to know it's already done. Yeah. This is the good news, and our job is to be open. Our job is to be receptive. Our job is to believe. And when we believe, we're able to hold more power than like a coil of wire that can hold electricity. We begin to hold more and more of the inspired thought of the infinite presence. Our attention becomes more focused, more appreciative of the presence of God. Our genius capacity is increased. And we know what a genius is. A genius' attention is not scattered by the distractions of the day or the talk of lack and limitation or impossibility thinking. We accept that there is an invisible supply in which all things are possible, and we accept that truth. We realize we can hold more energy. We discover that we can accomplish much, not by necessarily doing. Yes, we have to do our part, or getting caught up in the drama or the temporary circumstances or situations. Instead, we live from the allness of God, the channel of the presence of God that is waiting to move through us, not wasting time on worry, not burning ourselves with fear, but staying inspired by this presence, this power, and this love of God in which we live and we move and we have our being. We're here to be masters of God's infinite supply. Let's claim that good right now. Claim that good. Know that good. It's the truth of who and what we are. So just affirm with me as we close out today, all that God is, I am. All that God is, I'm ready to receive my good. I claim my good now. It is done. So it is. So. Well, next week we're going to continue on this theme with Reverend Deborah. She's going to talk about what do you really want. You might want to think about that. Some people, they don't know what they want. We need to know what we really want if we want to get it. So that's something she's going to talk about next week, and we're going to have Reverend Janae, who's going to do the meditation, and Carol Manson will be here with Lou Reed doing the music, along with Soul Night Connection. So be there, or be square, as they like to say in the old school. If you like some prayer, if you got a challenge that you're going through or growing through at any given time, right now, the chaplains are available. The chaplains are wearing the white stoles, and they'll be available in the courtyard to pray with you. And I always say, you don't have to wait until there's an emergency or a problem to pray. You can pray all around something that's wonderful happening, that's good. And you just want to get more of it. Like I said, whatever you appreciate and give attention to, it increases. So the chaplains are available to help you with that. And for those who are online that are new, would like to have a way of staying in contact with Spiritual Life Center and what's happening here, you can fill out one of the online cards, either if you're new today or any time. But for anyone who's new, that's here in person, if anyone raise their hand, any new people here this morning, raise their hands as being present. Someone here way in the back right there, yes. Thank you so much for your presence here today. We appreciate you. We behold the magnificence that you are. And we see you doing great things, and there's a card you can fill out to help us to keep in contact with you if you so desire. And if you wear the purple ribbon, you'll be able to get one of those special greetings from our Spiritual Life Center family members, and we thank you for your presence here today. At this time, for those who are online who would like to support Spiritual Life Center with your gift or offering, you can simply text SLC Love to 44321. That's SLC Love to 44321. Or you can go to our website, slcworld.org, go to the Donate tab, and you can give in other ways, including a check by mail if you'd like to do that as well. For those who are here today, just know that if you've given electronically or through the automatic giving, know that you're in the flow of a principle that says that whatever you give out comes back, and that's the nature of the universe's supply for us. And at this moment, if you're giving today, just symbolically take your gift, your offering, and raise it to the heavens, which is always ever expanding good. And it's there for us. And from this awareness, let's just affirm our offertory blessing this morning. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ooh, I claim a blessing. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start my day, knowing good is on the way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Oh, I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. With conviction, undeterred, and the power of my spoken word, take my life and redefine, break the shackles of my mind. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I've got bliss ahead. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. Oh, I claim a blessing. Oh, yeah, I claim a blessing. I lift my thoughts to a higher ground, knowing miracles are all around. Each day unfolds just as it should when I'm focusing on my good. Life is filled with opportunity. I wonder what could happen to me. I claim a blessing. I claim it. Oh, I claim a blessing. I claim it every day and every way. I claim a blessing. Oh, I claim it. I claim a blessing. I claim it. Let it flow. I claim a blessing. I claim it. Oh, I claim a blessing. I claim it. I claim a blessing. I claim it. Oh, I claim a blessing. Oh, I claim it. I claim a blessing. Oh, I claim it. I claim a blessing. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I claim a blessing. God's got a blessing with our names on it, and we're claiming it right here, right now. And we take this time to bless those who have blessed us with their gifts and their offerings, whether online or in person or automatic giving, knowing it's providing a place for all those who are seeking to grow, develop, unfold in their own life, to fulfill their potential as expressions of the Spirit of the living God. So we bless those that have blessed us with their support. We also bless those who have left their prayers in the prayer box today or throughout the week. And as I say, we all have challenges and moments that we just can't figure it out. And in those moments, we can lean on a presence that is with us always, supporting us, guiding us, uplifting us. We may call it God, we may call it the Atman, we may call it the divinity within, the Christ presence, but our job is to call it forth as the activity of our consciousness and see there's a divine solution to whatever challenge that we face. And what we do is raise our vibration to be one with this solution and see how seeming miracles take place beyond what human understanding can articulate. It is done. Spirit has already done it. Whatever we see in this world has already started as an idea waiting for the right vessel to be expressed through and to vibrate with. And so in that same way, whatever challenge we have, there is a divine and perfect solution, because as that scripture says, before they call, I've already answered you. We become one with the answer and see how it unfolds in most magnificent way. For this and so much more, we're grateful and thankful as we go forth doing our part to amplify the all good in our life and in our world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Let's join together as we affirm our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. And that is the truth. Let's sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. God as creator. Family, all are we. Family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace, let it begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Let this be the moment. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Oh, let it begin with me.
Peace and blessings. Have a great week. Claim you're good and hang around for some after service music.
Amen.